Namaste, galactic family. Welcome back to the channel IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension and come on in just for a quick chat that I want to have with all of you, as there's so much going on at this time. And me personally, I've been kind of moving my schedule around a lot, so I just wanted to share with you guys where I'm at and kind of give you a heads up on all of my significant changes that are happening. So just seeing myself for the first time on video here. Happy to be with all of you. I'm just sitting out by the pool right now. It's kind of a overcasted day right now. The sun keeps coming and going a little bit, you could say. And but it's nice and warm down here in Pensacola, Florida right now. So finally getting to sit out in my dresses and all of my warm clothes. Basically, it's been very nice to finally not have to kind of cover up when you come out, right? It's feeling good. So I wanted to let you guys know Qatar is still on the radar for Gridwork. I did postpone it though till May 6th, just because I have been getting intuitively some significant hits and downloads that there's still a lot more information that needs to come forward with Qatar. And there's still like a lot of deep diving that I need to do in terms of looking at sacred sites in Qatar, which I don't think there are very many. It's actually very much a desert. And I don't think there's a lot of like well-known sacred vortices, but what I have been getting, that a lot of the information and intel that's coming through with Qatar is definitely very political based, very much in the center of the Draco Hive intelligence systems and surveillance systems, that this is connected to surveillance systems worldwide, which is some scary stuff, you guys, that I've been learning about this, that there's been a lot of investments in global surveillance systems. It makes me wonder if there's not some sort of universal surveillance watch that actually happens in Qatar, this being very much a draconian headquarter location. So yeah, very much tied to the negative AI, black spiral, artificial wave intelligence of the Draco technology on the planet, basically, all going back to Qatar. So there's a lot that I think is still revealing itself, and so I just wanted to hold the brakes on that and just push it out a little bit till May 6th. So if you think you're gonna want to attend that Qatar Gridwork mission, just be sure to check out the description of this video, go down and click on the link, and be sure to sign up for that mission. If you have some intel to bring in for Qatar, I'd greatly appreciate it. I do feel like we will have one divine sister who's actually located in Qatar that's going to help us with that mission as well. So it's always really good to have an anchor when you're doing grid work at the location site, so that way you can tap into that energy to send and receive energy for the person that's on site, right? So you can kind of get your clearing to go through the ley lines and the grids much more intentfully and more powerfully. The only concern about having someone on location is that because it is such a high surveillance and I guess you could say probably anti-remote viewer, anti-spiritual development in any way other than through the particular draconian caliphate faction, so to speak, that any other type of spiritual work is definitely not accepted, type of thing. So just having to do things discreetly, having to do things a little bit more on the down low, if you get what I'm saying. But it's not like anything we're doing is negatively intentful in any way. If anything, we know that the intention in Gridworker missions is to support the higher evolution of consciousness and it is to essentially stabilize those grids and clear that Archangel Michael ley line, because really at the end of the day, it's very interesting how Scalig, Ireland, all the way down to the St. Michael's Mount in Cornwall, United Kingdom, runs all the way down to Carmel, Israel, and then all the way down and through Doha and Qatar. So yeah, if you keep following that Michael ley line down, it runs through Qatar. And that's very significant. That's something we actually need to pay attention to, right? That's something that we need to take into consideration with clearing the entirety of the Michael ley line, instead of just, I think, stopping it in Israel. So I think we're bringing a lot of things full circle. I know there's a lot of detrimental frequencies that we're going to be working to dissolve. A lot of it has to do with the inversions of the patriarchy and patriarchal domination and control, patriarchal demon seeds, in terms of what it's doing to the collective, in terms of the holy wars and the greatest separation wounds of humankind. And these are the places where a lot of the hocus pocus is just popping off. A lot of the black magic is just saturating the desert timelines and the hourglass timelines and the draconian seals. I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't a point that they are in the grids, that they are controlling the Draco seals from these locations, particularly all the Draco seals that have been implanted in the North and South poles, all of the Draco technology that has been created to artificially time warp and alter time perception on the planet, calendrical systems, and even knowledge, altering biblical texts and things like this, which is where we know that a lot of things have been essentially altered to fit particular narratives to keep the collective under the warfare mindset and the antagonistic enemy patterning that is running through the biblical narrative. And so a lot of these things, I feel the Archangel Michael ley line has greatly contributed, but when you look at Doha and Qatar, I think that significantly plays a role on how they're manipulating seal systems in the body, how they are really running almost like a brain scrambling and artificial amnesia. Because honestly, I don't think that this amnesia that we all suffer from in humanity is real. I think this is an illusion. I feel this is some sort of technology that they've installed, that this isn't our natural and innate state of being to forget, and to be subdued by, I guess you could call it cultural erasure, because that's essentially what amnesia is being weaponized for, is to culturally erase civilizations, as we know they did it to Tartaria, as we know that they're trying to do it to the Anglo-Saxon bloodlines and the European bloodlines currently, as we speak, Germanic and France, and also Spain, and just everywhere in Europe right now, basically. Ireland, Scotland, right? All these places. So I think a lot of this is stemming from Doha and Qatar, that there's some sort of devices that they have down there that they can operate and tap into the Draco seal set system, running planetarily, alter time, again, create these amnesic frequency loop patterns that make people forget who they are, and also surrender to invasion, surrender to takeover, and subdue their cosmic will, subdue their divine will, and also subdue their alpha masculinity and their will to protect, stand, and defend their nations, things like this. So it's really interesting, everything that's going on over there. But I think it's really significant for us all to understand the patterning, understand where, according to the grids and according to the locations of the Draconian Empire, the Sumerian Draconian Empire, where this is coming from, how these things are impacting reality. and wake up to these deeper truths, wake up to the sleeping threats that are essentially existing within the collective, which is very divisive. It's very invisible, and it works within people in terms of trickery and imposter spirit. So a lot of people honestly can't see these things because so many people are just so heart-based. Their heart frequency, their heart chakra is just so dominating that and it's not a bad thing, okay? It's how we should be. But I think and feel during this time of change that we're going through that we are requiring a certain level of attainment within shields, a certain level of attainment within our intellect, a certain level of attainment within our ability to scope and detect essentially things that are harmful against humanity, things that are harmful against the survival of humanity and the future of humanity. And so right now we are being kind of conditioned in some ways, according to the Earth's consciousness and the leveling up of the ascension processes that are occurring on the planet, to attain higher levels of intellect and higher levels of shield capacities and capabilities, which will allow us to retract heart-based frequencies, okay, and activate higher levels of vigilance. Vigilance being very, very key at this time. And understanding that the heart is a tool to be used on this earth and in this body and in this consciousness for the development of the coming of the new age, for the development of the female and feminine upliftment and enlightenment that is occurring on the planet. But that the heart also has to be essentially cultivated in terms of awareness, again, in terms of vigilance. It has to be something that one attains a level of self-mastery over, especially when it comes to looking at the technologies of, you know, all of the warfare that the Dracos are ensuing onto the planet, that us as indigos have to really refine ourselves during this time. So we're definitely going through phases of refinement and all of these things. But these are all things I think we're going to address as we work through that Qatar Gridwork mission. So yeah, it was postponed, but I hope that you'll still be joining me. Links will be in the description to sign up for that. I also wanted to let you guys know that I will be kind of switching gears up on my channel just a little bit, and gonna be talking more about health. I'm being called to do a health and healing fair event the first weekend of June, and I'm really excited because we've already had like some beautiful teachers actually come and sign up to do this health and healing fair and event with me. I don't have the links ready for people to sign up yet, but we're really going to be switching gears and taking health a lot more seriously, as I think it's become much more of a necessity on the planet, given that we are battling, you know, microwave radiation, given that we are battling, you know, chemtrails and bacteria fog and poisons in our food, and as we know, as we've been talking about relentlessly, that all these things are here, and all of these things are essentially working against our spiritual immunity in so many ways. And so many people I know have been really struggling over this winter. This was a very difficult winter for a lot of people, health-wise. So I think it will be a really amazing and beautiful jumpstart to get everybody kicked off with, you know, let's focus on health. I think this is the year to really, really engage our health and get our health back, right? It's not lost. I think we get stuck in these like declining slopes where we feel like, oh, you know, I'm just going to continue to get worse and things aren't going to get better. And, you know, now I'm dealing with this chronic ailment and that chronic ailment, and I just can't see anything getting better right now, and I don't know how to get my health back. And sometimes people just need support. Sometimes people just need a reminder. And sometimes you just need to try new things, right? Sometimes you need to get a quick, swift kick in the ass. I was going to say a cuss word well, I just did, but I was going to say another bad one. But you need a kick in the booty, okay, to detox yourself, to purify yourself. Some things I've been trying lately have been an aloe vera cleanse, apple cider vinegar cleanses, and castor oil cleanses. And my gosh, those three in combination with each other are working wonders. Like, my skin is actually clearing up. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been doing some holistic therapies with my skin, all of these things, right? So what I'm trying to say is there's things we can do if we stay committed to them that the body really, really responds to. The detoxification processes of these things, and it aids with inflammation and all of the disease causing imbalances in our body. And so I want to talk about this more. I want to keep this a conversation that we continue to have as a soul family, because I think it's beneficial, and I feel that everyone, for the most part, is on the path of health and healing. So stay tuned, because I'll be putting together a health and healing fair coming up soon, and I'm going to have some amazing teachers that are coming to present. I mean, it's going to be a big event. We're going to have a lot of speakers, and it's going to be very exciting. So I can't wait to share like the full details of this and get everyone on board with this, because I want you there. I want you to come. I want you to attend, and let's focus on our health together, because yeah, we need community. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is implant removal, because I've been getting a lot of messages lately, people tuning in with me via email and so on and so forth, and they're letting me know that it's difficult for them to remove implants that they've gotten implant removal maybe in the past, not necessarily from me, but maybe from someone else. They didn't really notice too much of a difference. I want to say that I think one thing we have to remember when it comes to implants is that I'm thinking, like, how should I say this? It's something that you have to educate yourself on. You have to learn about the nature of your biospiritual holographic energy, how it functions, how the light body functions, how the input and output system functions in your chakra system. When it comes to emotions, when it comes to psychology, when it comes to your thoughts, when it comes to your energy, when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to your experiences in this life and past life and this and that and the third. All of this is representative and connected to the implant system overall. It's learning what the implants are is a huge step in this process. Recognizing what is an implant, okay? What is a blockage? Basically, because an implant is an energetic blockage. An implant it can be many things. It can be a living memory. An implant can take a holographic form, essentially, okay? So you've had an experience, you've come against some negative energies, and there's some sort of symbol code that kind of presented from that and basically implanted in your holographic architecture. Okay, so an implant could be a symbol, it can be a form of a holographic figure, it could be a memory, it could be a person, place, or thing, right? Like literally causing the buildup, portraying itself in the form of an implant. Also, there's things such as seals, okay, which are considered implants. And seals are when basically certain natural organic portals within your energy field become inaccessible to you. That's basically what's happening. So you have this pristine functioning organic system, a negative planetary force or a negative draconian reptilian legion of doom, genetic DNA modifying master priest or priestess from Atlantis came in and modified and altered the genes. They've basically sealed you off from having certain access to your organic templating. That's basically what's happened, at least particularly with the J-Seal system. So I think when it comes to getting to the root of your own personal implants, you know, is this a journey that you're taking on your own to remove your implants? Or is this a journey that you're doing with a healer or someone who removes implants, seals, blockages, entity removal, whatever it is? Either path you take isn't wrong. But I think that if you're someone that's having difficulty with removing your implants or your blockages or your seals, and you've tried working with people and it hasn't worked, then it is time to take on the education. It is time to learn about implant technology, blockage technology, seal technology, and learn the methodologies to self-clear and self-remove, because that's the only way to really get to the deeper layers. Is you really have to take things into your own hands entirely and truly get all of the knowledge necessary to clear yourself. Because really, truly, at the end of the day, you guys know, I mean, it's all about that self-work. It's all about that self-care. It's all about that self-love. It's all about that self-understanding. If you can't self-actualize what it is that you're actually removing and releasing and clearing, you're never going to actually clear it. I mean, even if you're working with someone, you have to be able to self-actualize what it is that healer or that person removing those implants is removing out of you. You have to understand the information and energetically what it is they're doing to you. Because if you don't, it's going to go, right? And then you just feel a little bit better, but you don't really even know what just happened. Like, truly. Entirely. And you got to be inquisitive. You got to be that type of person, like, I'm willing to go deeper. I need to know, because that's how you get the entirety of that cleansing. So this is why I offer the implant and seal removal course, is for those that maybe have done implant removal and they still feel like there's things they need to remove. And I'll tell you what, this is normal. There are people that I'll do implants and seal removal sessions with, and some of these people will be able to really get a full cleansing, but some people go out of the session work and they still feel like there's something there. And then you go back with them and you try to remove it again, and then it still feels like it's there. Okay, so if this is the case and this is you, it's time to take your implant healing, clearing, seal removal work, which should be a practice, not just a one-time thing. It needs to become a practice if you still feel like things are there, and you need to take it to the next level, and you need to self-embody the methodologies, the practices, okay? And you need to become someone who removes implants and seals yourself, for yourself. It's the only way to really get to the deeper layer of it if you truly, truly want everything gone. If that makes sense, which I know I think it does for you guys. I think it does make sense, but I feel like I have to encourage everyone just a little bit that may be feeling discouraged at this time, or not understanding maybe how these processes entirely work with your consciousness, your soul, your spirit, your body, right? So yeah, I teach the implant seal course, implant removal course, and I highly recommend taking that course if this is kind of where you're at. It's kind of time to move into the next phase of things for you in terms of taking things into your own hands and really learning what the implant systems are, because there's 4 main universal implant systems that function on a collective level, and there's more than that on the planet. Okay, but the 4 main ones are going to be J-Seals, Draco Seals, okay, and feminine and masculine sexual misery implants in the body. And to be honest with you, the sexual misery implants, I mean, these are all standard. These are all universal across the board. And many, many men and women are plagued with these. This is why I just put the video out the other day talking about how the masculine and feminine must reunite, because this is the only way to truly heal the planet from all these separation and betrayal wounds and division, right? Is to get the sexual misery up and out of the body. I mean, this is often first and foremost, particularly with people wondering, where do I start with this work? You start with the sexual misery implants, to be honest with you, because this was inserted in the timeline of Lemuria, basically when everything about our organic nature in terms of mating was essentially destroyed. When everything about us to flourish in the union between men and women was essentially blown to bits and pieces, annihilated, castrated, and force bred and ran through hybridization traumas. And this goes for the whole collective. This is universal. So whether you're someone who's like, where do I start? Where do I start? If you're a starseed, if you're an indigo, if you're a light worker, if you're an empath, if you are heart-based consciousness, right? Heart frequency, all about evolving the soul. You've expanded all of the limited perceptual harnesses and mind control program in MK Ultra that you had to battle coming out of the fear matrix. Essentially, you're carrying all the universal implants. We all are. They do this to the collective, to the society, intentionally to limit and block them from being able to find their true potential. So you need all of them. You need all of them. And starting with sexual misery, womb work, or for males, prostate work, okay, circumcision, satanic ritual abuse clearings, things like this, and then working into J-Seal and Draco Seal removal to banish a lot of negative and evil entities, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking with the Draco system. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about clearing Qatar. Entities, reptilians, invaders, predators, prey versus predator programs, victimizer programs. Clear, 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 clear. Transcend, 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 transcend. When you start implementing implant and seal removal as a practice, it maintains your ability to sustain yourself out of that fear matrix, right? You can start cultivating your life in ways that you never have before, because you're no longer entrapped through particular etheric seal systems that are blocking your ability to see your potential beyond that fear matrix, beyond the limitations of those things. And even as I say this, I'm just getting so much in the solar plexus right now, and I know someone's feeling it. Because I'm feeling it, you're feeling it, we're feeling it. We're feeling it because we're transcending it in our bodies just as we're talking about it, actually. The implants actually start to activate just by speaking about them. If in case you knew, a lot of times when people are preparing to come and do implant removal with me, their light body literally activates a couple days before the session. And that is because their body is preparing themselves. Your consciousness knows, your higher self is literally weeks, months, and years ahead of your conscious mind, preparing you for you to step into certain new evolutionary phases of your life to transcend the old and limiting and become a new soul. Because you're not even who you were yesterday. You're always transcendent in every moment, every second. Transcendent, transcendent, transcendent. You're a new person. So the past actually isn't even real. It happened, but it never happened, if that makes sense. And Everything is now. Everything is now. Everything that happened in Lemuria is now. Everything that happened in Atlantis is now. There's no separation in these timelines as much as it feels like it's a past life. And this is, again, the insert of the seal of amnesia that the Dracos are controlling to make us forget, to make us not be in tune with being able to clear what needs to clear now within the body, to keep us locked in the damaged and fractured ancient timelines, right? And we got technologies now to transcend all of that. So it's just about imparting this wisdom. It's just about getting people to where they need to be. I in no way, I want you guys to know, take any sense or sort of ownership for anybody's work that they've done with or without me. Whether it's a part of something I have imparted in terms of teachings or something I've imparted via energy work. Like, it's all about full surrender and all about just being present within the journey and the process. Okay, guys, so be sure to check out the Seal and Implant course if you're feeling like you're ready to move this into the next level of actually being more engaged in implant removal as a personal practice. For me, it's benefited my life immensely. I couldn't be where I am today without it. I always feel new and refreshed after continual seal removal work. It never fails to amaze me. It never fails to do me good in some way that I needed, and keeps me in that state of full transcendence of persecution, martyrdom, victimizer, essentially all of the guilt and shame for sin and things like this. So yeah, guys, and of course God, right? Being present with God, loving God, worshiping God, embodying God, all the things. Which, speaking of all of that, wanted to tell you guys, I hope you're joining me for my live tonight. I'm going to be going live with the roundtable. I think Typical Skeptic will be there. Ani's going to be there. Missy, Raquel, we're going to do a roundtable on the death of the Pope. As you guys know, the Pope just passed, I think Easter, so that's kind of a big deal. So much with that, so much revelation and revolution that's coming through. As we know, there's the last Pope prophecy, and we know that this Pope had been sick for a while, you know, right after he opened the gates to hell. So I'm really picking up that this is significant to those gates of hell closing, and this is significant for new beginnings, actually new timelines. I'm actually seeing a lot of like positive coming forward with this. There's a lot of changes that the world is asking for and demanding right now, and whoever that next person comes in to replace him is going to be the last Pope. This is the last Pope before big changes happen, and I think it's for the better. It's really for New Earth and for the coming of the rising of Christ consciousness on this planet like no one's ever seen before, where people truly do transcend hatred and transcend the limitations of the holy wars. This is the biggest battle humanity is facing right now. So yeah, we're gonna get into it tonight. Please join me live 7 p.m. CDT time. I love you all so much, and see you on the next show.